guessing the mystery year. But first, before we do that, all over the papers this week, David Beckham's hair. I mean, they grab a headline everywhere, don't they? Whether they choose to or not. He's been sporting, I guess, a straighter hairline, enough for people to speculate whether or not he's had something done. Spencer Stevenson is an expert in hair loss. He's from Specs Hair, so he knows a bit about this. You yourself, Spencer, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
You yourself, I believe, have undergone some corrective surgeries also. Well, as you yourself have, not also, but you yourself have, I correct that.
Yeah, I mean, I've been the recipient of a number of hair transplant procedures over the year and tried various different treatments as well, and currently on a regime to help stop the progression of my hair loss. But yeah, I mean, just to reiterate, I think that David's obviously been in the media a great deal. I've been involved and obviously speaking on your show with a great deal of media exposure with regards to him, and I feel for him. But the fact of the matter is, I mean, David's not had a hair transplant, in my honest opinion. He's only a couple of weeks ago he was sporting a shaved head look, and now it appears that in a couple of, literally a matter of days, he's got a very thick, full, darker head of hair, and that's come about by the use of concealers such as nanogen, which are creatine fibers that magnetize to the hair shaft to give it the illusion of thickness. So David's certainly not had a hair transplant that we can that I'm aware of, and especially not in the past couple of weeks, to give him this illusion of hair pretty much overnight.
Someone mentioned, they were like, he keeps having his photographs taken. When would we have the time? He's, how long does that process take?
Oh, exactly. And the process of having a hair transplant procedure is the benefits from a hair transplant procedure in minimum of 6 to 8 months, and it takes a full year to get the actual full effects of it. So, I mean, David's certainly not had, in my opinion, a hair transplant procedure. Will he? Maybe down the line. I mean, David, unfortunately, hey, he's only human at the end of the day.
How about that? A human Beckham.
I know. How dare he? How dare he? Poor guy losing his hair. He's under the watchful eye, and lo and behold, I'm speaking about him publicly and in the media. We wrote an article on the Telegraph about 3 expert opinions on what we think's happened. Poor David, but David is an icon. At the end of the day, he's put himself out there. He's an influencer, and albeit for his hair as well, he's sported so many different hairstyles that lo and behold.
So jealous of the amount of hairstyles he can rock, because I certainly can't rock that many. I really can't. What's it like from a male perspective when that process starts? Because you've been through that, haven't you? When your hair does start to go.
It's incredibly debilitating. It's an emotionally traumatic experience that until you've lost your hair, it's very difficult to comprehend. And all the tire kickers out there that hair loss isn't a big issue. The majority of people that experience hair loss do go through a real emotional process, and it affects your self-esteem and it affects your confidence, and it will be affecting David's confidence without a shadow of a doubt. And if he could, and if he does, embrace it and shave it all off, and embrace his going thin and bald, it'll certainly change people's perspective on hair loss. I feel he's such an influencer, but I really doubt that he'll do that. I think David, being David, will try everything he possibly can, despite the emotions that he's going through alongside it all.
Let's just see. But how does it feel then that this is now a subject that people are actually starting to talk about openly? Because it's one of the things that, it's always women and their hair, isn't it, that gets discussed or is more accepted to dye. When you don't see that many chaps, I guess, dyeing their hair in the hairdressers, and it's something that now is kind of being openly discussed and is encouraged or supported better.
Definitely. And I mean, the likes of David in the press, and the speculation surrounding his hair is always going to create and get tongues wagging. But, lo and behold, there's huge hair loss communities already out there discussing it. There's forums such as Hair Loss Experiences. And we run a radio show called The Bald Truth. People, unfortunately, hair loss sufferers suffer in silence. And things like this, and people discussing and seeing David and talking about it, and like we are today, talking about it on the show, we'll get, people talking about it. Like when Wayne Rooney had a hair transplant, everybody was talking about it, and it put it on the map, and it broke down some social stigmas around the topic, which is really, really important in my opinion.
And I guess anything that can do that is a positive step. Thank you so much, Spencer Stevenson from Specs Hair, who himself there has undergone several corrective surgeries. I just wanted to sort of see what that was like from someone